Welcome back to another episode of In the Zone presented by GLHS Sports Zone and GLHS TV in the control room. So thanks to them again for helping us out. I'm Aaron Jolly, joined alongside my co-host Matt Miller.
How you doing?
Every time. So obviously we haven't been here since break. Crowded week for both of us last week, so we apologize for not getting an episode out last week. But yeah, we're here now. We have a lot to talk about. A lot happened over the break and last week. So let's start with girls swimming. Shout out to Anna Frolov. She, made sure we talked about it. Apparently we weren't talking about it enough. So we're going to talk about it. 3-2 for girls swimming. Losses come against the two best teams, in my opinion, Summit and Westfield. They got blown out in those. However, they made up for it by winning their last 3 consecutive meets, 91-79 against New Providence, so always good to beat a rival. Destroyed Plainfield, 90-26, and beat Cranford, 105-65. So they're heading in the right direction.
I think that's looking pretty good. They have a meet tonight against Kent Place.
Yep, 6:15.
Yep. You know where that is?
I don't. We can actually take a look at that.
You know where these meets happen?
I have no idea.
I know.
I don't know. Is it the Summit Y maybe?
The only one I went to was like years ago.
I couldn't tell you.
New Providence pool.
Yeah. So we will definitely keep an eye on the girls swim team as they look to advance to hopefully 4-2 and be 4-2 in the UCC as well. They've only swam against their own conference so far. Boys swimming, I believe they're doing about the same. I want to say I believe their record's the same. We can take a look at that
quick. But yeah, I would maybe I wouldn't expect anything too different to be happening right there between them.
Yeah, so they're also 3-2, same head coach. Losses against the same teams, wins against the same teams. They only beat New Providence by 2. Blew out Plainfield and
I remember saying New
Providence. That was a close one. I remember that.
Beater,
yeah, it was fast. Right at the last second.
Yep.
So let's talk about wrestling because wrestling.
They just had a big meet last night against New Prov. I heard they blew them out.
They destroyed them. It was I believe New Providence only had 30 points, and I think we were over. I want to say we were near 100.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was absolutely. It was bad last night.
Sounds like it. I mean.
Yeah, it was 60-15. Not over 100, but 60-15.
That's definitely not over 100.
Sorry, I was thinking of a different. That was bad.
I'm saying that was confusing. I mean, the best wrestling I saw was last year against Summit, where I think it was like a GL record for fastest match.
Yeah, no, it was quick.
Yeah, sorry, not a wrestling meet, a wrestling match.
So
I got tripped up there.
The wrestling team 9-2, 2-0 in their conference. Obviously, their 2 losses are against Hunterdon Central and Paulsboro. They blew out New Providence last night, which is nice.
As they should.
And they have a
Clark
match
too, right? What was the score against Clark?
Oh yeah, so against well, let's talk about that.
School rivals.
Against not only school rivals, but their former head coach. In Rick Ortega. Yep. So they won 36-30.
As they should, of course.
I saw Ortega before the match. I had him in class. And he was acting a little different. I couldn't tell if he was nervous or if he was, excited, anticipating it. But obviously a huge win for the Highlanders there.
He knew he was going to get blown out.
They didn't get blown out. They only won by 6.
Yeah, no, I heard it was really close.
So next match is tomorrow, and then there's one on Saturday as well against Roselle Park and then Glen Ridge.
Going back to that, I do just want to say I was told it was like that match against ALJ. It was all up to Chris Haddad. He finished out. It was like if he won that for them. If he won, they won. If he lost, they lost. I think that's just really good on him. Like coming in, the clutch situation, all the pressure on him, worth the match, the entire team, and he comes home with it.
Yeah, no, and look, I 100% agree.
I feel so bad right now. He
just got hurt
in his knee. Yeah,
that's another thing. Chris Haddad just got hurt. There's a few injuries I think we have to cover today that are of significance. So that we'll definitely keep an eye on that. Best wishes go out to him, hopefully for a speedy recovery.
Hopefully a speedy recovery.
But let's look at girls fencing real quick. Not much to talk about. Only had 4 matches, meets. I don't know what really they call them. 0-4. Few close ones in there against Bernards and Oak Knoll. But their other 2 they lost by, I'd say, more of a significant margin. And they have a match.
How fencing scored?
I don't, but they have another.
That works.
They have another meet on the 16th against Kent Place at 4:15.
I think from my understanding, it's just like whoever, because they have like.
Yeah, but there's different points. I think for like
the Rapier.
Yeah,
So it's like if they just like tap someone with it, then they get a point. I think it's like best out of 3.
Yeah.
Then that's against the match.
So let's look at ice hockey now because ice hockey I believe they are. Yeah, so they're 9-1.
9-1.
They're 7-1 in their conference.
Who'd they lose to?
Oh no, I went back. I apologize.
Who'd they lose to?
It was. They lost to Westfield 3-2, but then they just beat them 5-2 a couple days ago. So that's obviously a good thing. Beat Livingston both times so far this year, 7-4 and 6-0. Destroyed Summit 7-1, 7-0 both times they played this year. Looking really solid. I know, since the break, what's his name? Silverman's back. He's on the ice.
Okay.
They have a game tomorrow at 9:10 p.m. against Marlborough. I believe that's how you say it. So good luck to the hockey team. Obviously, they're looking to three-peat their state championship in their group. And so, yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. Now, I want to go into girls basketball because there is a lot we have to talk about there. I don't know if you attended Super Saturday.
I was not a Super Saturday.
Okay. So I called the games, both varsity games with GLHS TV on Sports Zone. Call went well.
I thought, were they not at the same time or it was 2 different times?
No, they were 2 different times. There was JV and both JVs were before them.
Oh, okay.
But there were other games going on in the Red Gym.
The 2 varsity games were going on at the same time?
No.
It was one after the other?
One after the other. They both played in the Blue Gym.
Okay.
Yep. So obviously they won. So they won that game 37-30. It was a blowout in the first half. I think it was 27-2.
Who did they play?
Hillside. They played at Hillside. But Hillside made it interesting in the second half. But one thing that I don't know if you're aware of, Kira Palizzi suffered a knee injury on her right leg this time. Went down, I believe, I want to say third or fourth quarter, late in the third, early in the fourth quarter. Did not return.
Did not
return.
And
she's walking around.
Practicing right now?
She's not able to practice or play right now. So we don't know what it is. I don't want to speculate and go into any directions. Obviously, we're hoping it's not an ACL.
As of right now, it could just be.
It could be anything.
Taking the week off, then she's back.
It could be anything. She had to be helped off the court, but it could be anything. So yeah, obviously after she went down, it got very close. But the Highlanders were able to close it out and beat Hillside. They have a matchup today against Dayton. It's the senior night. So Sarah Castrovinci, Ava Feinberg, Carolyn Chetrico,
and Maria DiPasquale.
And Maria DiPasquale are all going to be recognized tonight at senior night. Thank you to them for their commitment to the program, obviously, and giving us some great basketball. I mean, all 4 of those players are really solid. And then moving into boys basketball, obviously their Super Saturday matchup did not go as planned. They lost to New Providence, the Battle of Mountain Avenue. I was on the call for that as well. That James Miller kid from New Providence was outstanding. He had 6 threes in the first half. It was ridiculous.
Okay, let's also not shout out New Prov for the GL
podcast. I understand, but you got to give credit where credit's due.
This is not a New Prov podcast, all right?
Okay, fair.
What's his name?
I don't remember anymore. It's not a New Prov podcast.
Good.
Like you said. So basketball's 5-3. They're 3-1 in their conference in the UCC. But they couldn't shoot a 3 to save their life. I mean, I'm sitting there, and Lev hit 2 or 3 big ones in the first half, but they couldn't shoot a 3 to save their life. So they lost by 5 to New Providence.
But let's also get it out there. Basketball is not all about just shooting threes. I mean, They didn't lose the game because they couldn't shoot a 3.
They lost the game because they gave up too many threes, in my opinion.
Sure.
Because if you're not making threes, you can't give them up, and that's I think what happened there. So they're coming off 2 straight losses against Bernards and New Providence. They also have lost to Milburn. That's their 3rd loss. But they've beat Dayton, Brearley, Roselle Park, High Point, and Mountain Lakes. Mountain Lakes was a part of the Pete Tierney Memorial Holiday Tournament that they played in. So going forward, I want to look at their. We can look at their schedule here. They play today as well at Dayton, 7 o'clock game time for varsity.
Do they also have a senior night, or it's not?
No, it's not tonight because they're on the road.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, they're going to be on the road tonight. Freshman's going to play at home.
Yeah.
But so they have Dayton, and then they have. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that. It's Koyona. That 113 right there.
113, where is it?
Second one down from Dayton. I couldn't even tell you.
Yeah, it looks like Koinonia.
Yeah, sure. Whatever he said.
I guess we'll go with that.
Yeah, we'll go with that. So they still have a game against Johnson, Cranford, and 2 against New Providence still. And they play Pingree to wrap up their season.
It could be Koinoa.
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe.
Probably not, but it's fine.
Koinonia.
Yeah,
maybe.
Like we said, we're not gonna sit here all day and discuss that. So I think going forward, they need to focus on their defense a little bit more. Definitely keep the offense moving, and if they can get the three balls to fall and maybe defend the three a little bit better, I think that they're going to be in a good spot. And I also want to point out the officials. I try not to get on the officials' case too much because I know what it's like.
It's never the officials' fault. How are the calls?
However,
if you point them out, it's gotta be. Can't be that good.
I don't know where there were a few missed calls there, a few missed foul calls. I mean, GL players were hitting the deck in the fourth quarter. No call, go down the other way, and it'd be a ticky-tacky. It was a foul, but it was weird how they weren't really going both ways. And same thing in the girls' game. But obviously the girls came out on top, so we're not going to go too far into it. But I think the boys, the officials were a little bit shaky, and Loeffler was. I mean, you can watch the game back. Coach Loeffler was not having it with the officials.
I'm sure he wasn't. I mean,
mad. Like he was about as mad can get.
Yep.
So yeah, good things coming up for them. How's track doing?
We've been doing pretty good. We have another meet in Toms River this upcoming Saturday.
Yep.
And we just came from one.
Okay. And so what's your? Do you know what your record is right now?
I don't. No, I don't know exact records. I don't think there is strict team records. Actually, I'm not so sure about that.
So
if it's just a bunch
I know you're having a great year on the team.
Yeah,
a few PRs. Right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, everything's a PR to me technically.
Yeah, that's true. As long as you beat what you did the last week.
Exactly. Yeah.
First year.
I haven't been there yet.
But yeah, so good things coming from track. Good things really from all around. Obviously, we're going to keep you updated week by week on the Kira Polizzi situation because that's a huge loss for them.
Yeah.
Kind of just it's tough because she's a key piece, and it's for the seniors that are graduating this year. This is their last year that they wanted to make something happen. So obviously, we're hoping that that's not an ACL and that's a minor injury, and she can be back on the court in the coming weeks. Anything else?
I don't think so. I think that's it.
I think we
good?
we summed everything up. I think we summed everything up. Did we do boys fencing? I don't think we did. Let's touch on that real quick. Let's just make sure we touch on that. So they're 3-3 under head coach Michael Wang. They lost one close one to Montclair, lost by 9 to St. Peter's Prep, and by 9 to Livingston. But they beat Bernard's by 1, and they beat McNair and St. Benedict's. So they're 3-3. They have a match today, or a meet today at 4 p.m. And then they have a little bit of a break until Oratory on the 16th. So 3-3, obviously better than the 0-4 record that the girls have.
Yep.
So hopefully they can continue to do what they're doing.
They're 0-4.
And the girls, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what we touched on earlier. I thought you were paying attention.
Well, I was paying attention. You never said they were 0-4.
No, I did.
Did you?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
I forgive you. So yeah, hopefully they can keep doing good things. And I don't know how fencing works in terms of playoffs. I don't know if there's an end of season.
Yeah,
I couldn't tell you.
We're gonna get a fencer in next week.
Yeah, we might have to bring a fencer in and get a rundown of the season. Yeah.
Not even just this season. Get a rundown of fencing.
Yeah, we're obviously very uneducated.
We are extremely knowledgeable on the subject, as you can tell.
Sorry, I had to do that real quick. So that's going to do it for this episode of In the Zone, presented by GLHS Sports Zone and GLTV in the control room. Huge thank you to them for making this possible. And any closing words? I'm Aaron Jolly. That's Matt Miller. Thank you. We'll see you on the next one.